Hello friends, do you like casting spells in Dota 2? I bet you do, so I've got some tricks and tips for you to get some free mana. This is actually not tread swapping or dropping items before healing. Those are separate videos and actually far more important than what we're going to talk about today. So if you don't know what those are, go check that out. I will link them. I would recommend focusing on those, getting the habit of using those rather than what we're about to talk about. But if you want some minor tips and tricks that still give you free mana, here we go. Many supports are building Arcane Boots nowadays, and sometimes even finishing the Guardian Greaves. I recommend locking one of these components so that when your Guardian Greaves arrives, you don't have to, but it just makes it easier, so in case you forget, the courier brings your items, it doesn't automatically finish into Guardian Greaves. You should use your Arcane Boots first, then unlock the component, finish your Guardian Greaves, and you'll notice the cooldown is reset because it's a different item, and now you can use it again for even more mana. Should you use mech before finishing Guardian Greaves? No, because you'll notice when you use this mechanism, you get this debuff aura, and this prevents you from being affected by the mechanism or Guardian Greaves until this is gone. This is based on the cooldown of mech, so this will last for 50 seconds, and even if you finish Guardian Greaves and the item is refreshed and you try to use it, you won't gain health. So if I lose health here and I Guardian Greaves, you'll notice I didn't heal at all because I'm still being affected by that mech cooldown. And if you finish the mech and you now have Guardian Greaves, you'll get a Guardian Greaves cooldown. But Guardian Greaves is only 40 seconds and it actually heals 350 health, which is 75 more than mech. So if you really do need health, it doesn't make sense to use the mech. Wait till you finish the Guardian Greaves, then activate mech. You'll get more health at a lower cooldown. And yeah, it just makes more sense overall. In fact, anytime you plan on disassembling your Arcane Boots for the energy booster to use it in a different item, you should go ahead and use them before doing so. That way you just get some mana before losing your Arcane Boots forever. Unless you're building a Lotus Orb, because Lotus Orb can be disassembled at any moment. So unlike other items, which for a few seconds when you build them, they might be disassemblable. After that, they are locked forever. Lotus Orb can be disassembled at any moment. So what you can do is disassemble it when you have a free moment, reassemble your Arcane Boots, use them, and now you can disassemble your Arcane Boots again, unlock everything from the Lotus Orb, and now you have your Lotus Orb again. Be very careful if you do not have a lot of inventory slots open. You need at least 2 empty spaces, 3 being the one that Lotus Orb is currently taking up. If you do not have this space and you disassemble this item, you will drop a component on the ground. Now, if you have a lot of free time, the enemy's all dead, then sure, this is okay, but it's a huge hassle to reassemble any of these items here. So for example, I'm gonna unlock my boot, try to pick up this energy booster. I can't because this energy booster is actually locked on the ground. So I have to drop something, unlock it, use this, disassemble it, unlock it, hope this perseverance is still unlocked. Okay, I did unlock it earlier, and now reassemble. And you can imagine you can easily lose your item in this time if the enemy jumps you, or if you're just not paying attention when you do it and you're walking and then you're like, wait, where did I lose it? You got to go walk back. It's a huge hassle. So make sure you've got space to do this trick. Neutral items can be another great way to get free mana. Say you are using something like the telescope, but there's a free bullwhip sitting in your stash. Just stick it in your backpack if you have space. And then after a team fight, when you have a moment, you can swap these out, get the mana regen from the bullwhip, and then when you think a fight is getting closer to breaking out again, you got to swap it. Keep in mind there's a 6-second cooldown, so maybe do it a little ahead of time. But this can be an easy way to get some extra regen. A lot of items have mana regen, so just pick and choose whatever's available, but there's a couple others that are even better than that, or maybe not better, but just different. One being the shovel, another being the arcane ring, because you can pop these in, use them, hope you dig up a mango, for example, or in the case of the arcane ring, just go ahead and use the arcane ring, then swap the item you want back in. They take up inventory space, so keep that in mind, but because they're neutral items, at any moment you don't want them, you can just send them back as you need to clear up space because you're trying to steal the Aegis from the enemy or something like that. So it's really not that big a deal. It just takes a little bit of micro, and you got to remember to swap them out. That's probably the trickiest part, but this is a great way to get mana easily. Bonus tip for the Eye of Vizier, which actually reduces your max mana. It is a similar concept to tread swapping. If you don't need the cast range, all this item does is reduce your mana. So if you're farming the jungle, for example, or just healing teammates after a winning team fight, the enemy's all dead, you actually want to drop your Eye of Vizier or put it in your backpack before using spells, because this will actually save you mana before swapping this Eye of Vizier back in to get that cast range. Again, if that concept doesn't make sense to you, go watch the tread swapping video. It's the same thing, but in reverse. That's all I've got for you today. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you in another video.